Hi guys, and welcome back to World's Best Gardens. This week we're looking at Gardens by the Bay in Singapore, and it was created by Singapore government, and the winner of a competition was Andrew Grant of Grant Associates. And it's, as you can see, it's built in the distance there. You could see two domes. This is the marina that we're looking at now, and the marina is all reclaimed land, or most of it's reclaimed land. It's kind of clay, and so it's quite a difficult area to build on. Now, there is a couple of different options, and the most popular one there is to see the two domes, and we also took in the Skytree Observatory, which I think was worthwhile doing. That was just a quick overall plan of the place. And so we've got the Flower Dome, we've got the Cloud Forest Dome, and there's the Supertree Observatory in the distance, and that's the Supertree Grove that belongs to. So we're going to have a look at the Flower Dome first. Now, the construction of the Flower Dome was finished in November 2011, and it was open to the public on the 29th of June 2012. The Flower Dome is the larger of the two cooled conservatories, and it holds as the record as the world's largest glasshouse, covering 1.2 hectares, that's about 3 acres. It replicates the cool, dry climate of the Mediterranean regions and houses a wide range of plants from around the world, including Australia. Now, these domes, although you think, the Singapore is hot, they're actually cooled down to around about sort of 20 odd Celsius, and humidity is reduced. So the whole Gardens of the Bay concept was an international design that was ran in 2005. It was organised by the Singapore government. The winners were Andrew Grant and Grant Associates, who won the Bay South Gardens. Paul Baker from Wilkinson I was one of the chief architects who helped design the two domes. And we had the East Bay Gardens, which were won by Gustafsson and Porter and landscape architect Catherine Gustafsson. And they are still under construction, including the Central Bay, which is still under proposal. So it's good that these ones were open. This is the South Bay Gardens, and they are one of the most popular tourist destinations. I think it's the number one tourist attraction in Singapore, and it deserves to be. It's an amazing garden that is amazing to walk around. So what you can see here are various plants. You've got olive trees that have been brought in from Spain that are 500 years old. And then what we're looking at now is throughout the year they will do various themes. This one here was a Monet's impressions of Monet. So they do a small version of all the different plants that Monet would have had, sort of water lilies and irises and sunflowers. And it was really quite good. So you can imagine that if you were from a Asian country, very hot country, seeing these sort of plants is just probably mind-blowing, because it gives you the idea. Look, you can see all those delphiniums there. These wouldn't really naturally grow in some of these very hot countries. So this was really well done, and a lot of time and effort had gone into doing all the trials and getting these plants over and making sure that they would be able to survive in the light that it has. So the cooling and the whole sustainability of the building in lines with what they wanted was to keep it in line with a standard office building. So use no more power than a standard office building. And if you can imagine how much it would cost it to actually bring that down to those sort of costs, it's quite a feat in itself. So different sections have all been cooled down with different ways. We've got a liquid, the air is first, the humidity in the air is taken out by using a desiccant, similar to what you might use in, say, a damp rid, and that takes out most of the humidity, so it goes from about 90% to sort of 60% humidity. And then it's cooled down even further by sort of more standard air conditioning units. But taking out that major heat component of the humidity allows electricity to be saved. So just quickly, we're looking now at the other dome, the Cloud Forest, And there you've just had a look at the 35-metre tall waterfall, the tallest waterfall, inside waterfall in the world. So it is truly, truly amazing. I think I preferred this dome more than I did the other one. And it features a lot of subtropical plants and more probably maybe what we're not used to, so maybe that's why I liked it a bit more. So it's giving you that real subtropical look, lots of orchids, even a nice garden here dedicated to the New Zealand plants, pungas. There was nikau palms and lots of little ferns and various little sculptures that you'd find in New Zealand. Now, interesting enough, these plants have all been brought in, and it's a very sterile environment. So the biodiversity part to these inside glass houses doesn't exist. It doesn't have the birds, it doesn't have the insects, butterflies, bees. It's a very, very controlled environment, and that's for obvious reasons. It keeps the bugs down and disease down. And they've got to be very careful, I guess, in these sort of these environments to not try and get things like insects becoming a problem. So this is a little bit of the display of the orchids, and of course Singapore is very famous for orchids. In fact, the whole design from Andrew Grant was designed around the way of an orchid flower and the way an orchid grows. I think orchids are one of my favourite flowering plants. For cut flowers or for flowers, they actually do last a long time. So you can see how this environment is controlled with all these misting. You've got air cooling around the whole domes to keep it nice and cool and misted, to keep all these plants growing in perfect conditions. So also the glass is slightly tinted with iron oxides and to keep some of the light out. There's automatic shades that come over the glass to help keep it cool, and it's the structure of it is kept in place with big steel ribs that go over the outside of the domes. So we're going to walk upstairs now. So this is on different levels, and you can see the structure there of not just the big ribs that go on the outside. You've got the glass that's divided into grids just to keep it strong. If you can imagine the storms and the hail and the wind in these positions that this glass dome has to withstand. So it's a real engineering feat in itself. And now we're just going to walk along this little walkway at the top of the dome. And this is really quite cool. A little bit scary if you don't like heights, but it's all very, very solid. And you get to see amazing views looking down and actually through the glasshouse window as well to see the outside of the harbour. Now, as I said before, the actual land that this was built on is built on a marina, and the marina has basically clay, very, very unsuitable for building. So when they were placing the outside structural ribs, they had to go down and really sort of get some good structural solid soil down there, and they went from the clay down to the alluvial soils and tried to, obviously helping to maintain its stability. You can see the network of bridges there going down. It's really amazing. Okay, guys, so that was the domes, and we're now going to head off to what's called this tree grove. But on the way to the tree grove, we've got this nice little floral clock here that this guy's just doing some bit of maintenance on, and it's just a nice little feature. And then as we go there, you can see there, that's the Supertree Grove, and you can see the walkway that goes through there. Now, we didn't do that. That's another option you can do, but we just went up the actual observatory bit, so we wanted to get a good view. It's kind of got the same sort of feel to it, because you're going to go up to the top of the observatory and then have a look. And all these structures here, they all light up at night. So they all light up at night. So we're going to walk along here. We're going to basically take the lift up. Now, one of these trees, I'm not sure which, is a chimney, and it's part of the saving money. The waste material from pruning and clippings becomes wood chips, and it's actually burned in a big boilers, and it produces steam and electricity, which is then used to help power and save money, and the wood ash is then recycled as fertilizer. So somewhere in one of those super trees is actually a chimney stack, so it disguises the fact that it's actually blowing out a little bit of smoke every now and then. So right at the top now, and amazing views. You can see also solar panels have been added to help reduce electricity costs. In the distance there, you can see the very iconic building. That's the Marine Sands building. That's an amazing looking building as well. And you can see a beautiful view of the harbour. Now this particular, at the top here, is opened up when it's fine, which I think is most times, but obviously if there's an electrical storm or heavy wind, a lot of high pressure or whatever, they might close this down. So yeah, it's this is the bit that you can walk around the observatory and take the look out, and yeah, very, very cool. Again, if you're a bit don't like heights too much, you might find this a little bit, not that comfortable. But there you go. It's an amazing thing. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Hope you enjoyed this one. It was definitely worth a visit at one of the most amazing gardens I've been to.